Hello, everybody. I'm Renee Varnador, and this is day 3 of Sacred Union with Mary Magdalene and the Archangels. And today we're focusing on the Archangels because the arch asking the Archangels to come and help you open the doors to what you need to experience and what you're expanding into is something that is so powerful, and yet it just takes a lot to figure out, oh my gosh, we should be doing this. So one of the things that I did when I first started teaching classes during the pandemic in 2020 was I came up with a song to sing in the Archangels because I saw I was part of a healing group where that was huge, and they had a shaman come in and he sang in 4 directions. And then I saw a new moon ceremony in Astrology Hub and they had 7 directions. So I decided, oh well, I'm going to have 7 directions. So I basically sing in 7 archangels. And when I do the moon ceremony, I make everybody stand up and walk around, but we can sit here and sing it quietly. um the I'm going to share my screen in total trust, since I actually tested this out beforehand, that we are going to be able to do this. So we're in day 3 with the Archangels. Here are the words, because I know I have a couple of people that have never been to a new moon ceremony before. And what the purpose of this is just notice how you feel now, and notice if you feel any of these archangels that we're going to sing in, if you felt any of them in particular anywhere in your body, or you got some other kind of indication that they were with you. So we're going to start with the East, and we're going to start with Archangel Raphael, who's the Archangel of healing. So here we go. We're calling in, singing in the 7 directions. Spirits of the East, air and inspiration, Archangel Raphael, please come. Spirits of the South, fiery creative spirits, Archangel Michael, please come. Spirits of the West, watery loving spirits, Archangel Gabriel, please come. Spirits of the North, earth clearing spirit, Archangel Uriel, please come. Spirits of below, mother of potentiality, Archangel Sandalphon, please come. Spirits of above, for the sky perspective change, Archangel Metatron, please come. Spirits of within, heart space gives, Archangel Hanael, please come. Okay, so did anybody feel any particular archangels coming in? Raise your hand if you felt, and if you felt one, at least one of them come in. I know Carrie did, I know Lauren did, Debbie did. Okay, so we've got some people saying, yep, we did it. We felt it. We felt an archangel coming in. So you guys already know, okay, that the archangels are around you. And so now we're just going to work more specifically with them on specific things. When we set an intention and ask them to help us as we step from we're in the middle, like for instance, we're in the middle of our humanness. Like I was in the middle of my humanness for the last 2 days with tech issues, well, actually 3 days, and I had to open and and ask for help. And thank goodness my earth angels here, especially Lauren, were helping me out with all of that. But here we are, and Allison's here with us now, and Bonnie's here with us now. So we've got people from all over the continental US here. No, the continent of North America, from Mexico, where and we've got Lauren from Australia. How could I forget? Lauren woke up early to be here. So here we go. And we've got, I wouldn't call Hawaii the continental of the US, and that's where Carrie is. So, okay. So getting the angels here with us, calling them in, singing them in, that's what we like to do. So we've got Janice here again today, so that's good. She's coming in. So I'm going to share my screen again, but I want you to think about you. Obviously, I had some hands go up, people who felt the archangels when we sang them in. So think about your experiences with the archangels, how they show up for you. And we're going to talk about that. First, I'm going to tell my story about the archangels. And my story is, I'm going to cover all of these. And I'm just going recent because I felt like the angels were with me for a very, very long. Actually, I'm not sharing this. I think I'm looking at it, but I'm not sharing it. So anyway, basically, I really decided, I made a choice. And that's what you have to do. You have to make a choice. You're going along, the external world tells you this, everybody tells you how to get a job, what to do. And I was following my mom and what she was doing because she was very successful. And really, I had to make a choice saying, okay, I want the archangels to help me. And unless you ask, they don't come, because we have free will and we have to make our own choices. We are responsible for our own evolution. We're responsible for our own lives. So if we're sitting around waiting for somebody else to do it for us, we're going to be waiting a long time. And we might start following somebody else, but ultimately, what is within us is unique, and what we brought here to experience is what would make us the happiest and most joyful for us and everybody around us if we actually did that. So the archangels became a choice for me when I was getting my final certification after a 3-year process in some energy healing. And I was with this group of amazing, amazing women who had gone through and done over 100 healing sessions with people and done all kinds of other work and read a lot of books and did a lot of programs and did all kinds of things. And I volunteered to lead the meditation for the group on the second day. And I thought, oh, I've led meditations in my church before. This will be no big deal. I can do this, no problem. But I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning with instructions on what to do and how to do it. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh, am I going to follow these instructions? Because I know 5 a.m. instructions are kind of a little bit more powerful than the, everyday walking around instructions, because you just kind of feel like, okay, I'm being told something here. I'm connected to something bigger than myself. Let me figure out what's going on here. And basically, I had brought my angel card deck, not this one, but another one. I had brought it with me to the hotel because I had to travel to get to this place. And I was just like, okay, you're going to go around and you're going to give an angel card to everybody before you start the meditation. And you're going to sing this other song, and you're going to do this, and you're going to say that. And then here, take dictation. And I wrote down what I was going to be saying during this meditation. So I ended up following the directions, but I was really scared that the teacher would not like it. So I went up and I said, hey, I want to do this. And is that okay? Like I was asking permission. And she's like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. She really didn't care what I did. She just wanted that little space that she was going to give us to be filled. So I was like, okay, here we go. If you don't care, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to put on my actress hat and have the courage and step out and do this thing. So I felt powerful as I gave a card to each person. I felt a connection with them as they looked at their angel card and connected with the angel. And it was just like something that I'd never experienced before, going around, and it felt like I was connecting people with an angel. And I really liked that feeling. And I went through the meditation and we did the whole thing and people liked it and I got good feedback. But people kept coming up to me that whole day, showing me their card and wanting me to tell them more. Like I was passing around the guidebook and they wanted to know more about these cards. And I realized, okay, I know about half of the cards in this deck, but there's half of these archangels in this deck of 18 archangels that I don't really know because they never come up for me. What am I have, and I'm like, what am I going to do when somebody comes up to me and shows me something that I don't know, or comes up and has an experience that I don't know about? And that's when I made a decision. I was like, this was so interesting for me, and people wanted this information from me, and I loved giving it to them. Let me study this more so that I know every archangel in the deck. And now, of course, I know 22 of these archangels, and now I know like 10 different decks. And I've studied with and gotten angel certifications and angel guide, this and that, certifications and this and that. But it's just the process of making a choice. Okay, yes, I'm going to be um I am willing to take dictation. And so then my job became, I want to be the clearest channel I can possibly be for the archangels to come through, because I really didn't want to tell people the wrong thing or say anything harmful. So I was afraid for the longest time to say anything harmful. And then I just said, okay, the more I clear little Renee, yesterday I was talking about how the small self, the humanness of us in the Aramaic during Jesus's time was called the napsha. So my little napsha, it just really doesn't know what the heck's going on in the universe or what's happening for everybody right now or anything other than when she's scared. So it's there's like I need to connect to this larger part of me, my ruha, which is the connection of my divine spark with the divine spark of each one of us, because we all have that, and then with the God source or the divine source. So I ended up actually starting to teach classes during the pandemic, and I taught a bunch of angel classes and I used angel cards, and people were getting really interested. So I thought, oh, okay, well, now I'm going to charge them. And I taught a Find Your Angel class, and I think, Lauren, you were in that class, weren't you? In Find Your Angel. I think Bonnie, you were in that, and Carrie, were you in that one? So anyway, so there was just like 10 people showed up, and I'm like, wait a minute, 10 people are showing up to hear me talk about the angels? They didn't show up for, I got 4 people showing up for all the other things I tried to do. Why was it so easy? Why? Interesting question. Ask yourself this. Why was it so easy for 10 people to show up to hear me talk about the archangels? So you may have something in your life. Okay, what am I talking about? What are people interested in hearing from me? Why was it so easy to get people to sign up for that? Okay, so that was kind of an interesting thing. So then I decided to teach a 12-week Archangel class for my church, and I had to be in person, which was really scary because I have to drive an hour across an international border to go teach these classes. But what I just, and I thought I knew what I was going to say for all of the meditations, because I was just like, my pastor called me up and said, okay, Renee, what are you teaching? And I couldn't decide whether I was going to teach Mary Magdalene, Sacred Union, Archangels. I couldn't decide. So then I'm just like, all right, I'm teaching Archangels. And then boom, right there, it was so easy. I took dictation, writing down what the angels wanted me to say for 12 weeks. Boom, boom, boom. I had it done in a half an hour because I just took dictation. And I told everybody what it was going to be. I gave them my dictation, changed a couple things, added a couple things to it. But when I thought, okay, I know what I'm doing, right? But when we got to the part of the class where I do the meditation and the people really connect with the archangels, I really, really had to realize that the archangels were right there telling me what to say and wanting to use my voice to do this meditation. And I had to surrender everything that I had planned to say during the meditations and just let these archangels do the meditation that they wanted to do. Like yesterday, I had to surrender to Mary Magdalene when she came in. I didn't know she wanted to put a crown on everybody's head. I had no idea she was going to do that. I had no idea she was going to want to put her hand on people's heart. I had no idea she was going to want to do that. I had an idea. I said, "Do you want to come?" And she said, "Yes." So I said, "Okay, she's going to come. No problem." We're going to lead this meditation. But it's just a question of making the choice to be available for whoever you feel like, whether it's your higher self, whether it's an ascended master, whether it's an archangel, whether it's a healing guide, whatever it is, surrendering to something greater than yourself makes the commitment for me, for sure, and possibly for you too, to just open up and be as clear as you can. So if I'm angry at somebody, or if I'm upset, or if I'm like freaking out, there are things I have to do to get chill so that I can do the classes that I'm set up to do. And I am like totally willing to do that, to work through my own stuff and let go of my own resentments and work through my own forgiveness and step back into my own self-love when I'm really upset, in order to be a clear enough channel to surrender and let the angels do the talking. So at that's my experience with archangels. And I'm going to go around and ask anybody if they want to share about their experience with archangels. And if you have any experience with deciding to be a clear channel, so that, for instance, your higher self comes through, or your soulful self, or Mary Magdalene even comes through. So I'm going to open it up to anybody that wants to share. So if I see your hand like this, or I see you unmuting, go ahead, Allison.
Can I say again, I really love this, and I love what you're creating here so much. I'm getting a lot out of it for myself. It's so timely. So, I'm going to start with the question about the clear channel first, because I had a conversation. I've been struggling and suffering. Everything you said, the 3 days, I'm like, oh, that's me too. Oh, that's me too, right? Of course. And I've been struggling to do it right, to say it right. I feel like there's some sort of extra brownie point if I can figure it out myself. And it's exhausting. And it also kind of comes out like, a little ego, or like, like, and so I had a talk with a friend of mine after our class, yesterday, and she said, "What do you channel? Who do you channel? I don't channel. What do you channel?" And she's like, "Do you channel Mary Magdalene?" I said, "No, she was my mentor. She was my mentor. It was
Mhm.
different. She was a teacher." And she said, "Well, then who do you channel? The angels." I said, "No. Who do you channel?" And I said, Bina, the supernal divine feminine Bina.
Wow.
And then everything stopped. And it's like, oh, doesn't have to be complicated. Then my little self came in. But,
Mhm.
so I'm at that point where it's like being a clear channel and getting rid of it's not like the ego, like, oh, it's more the little girl I'm so freaking scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm scared of hurting someone. I'm scared of getting it wrong. And so I love this, and I love everyone's different. I'm so excited to hear because like I call in the four archangels when I do a little ceremony every morning with the pentagram for protection and not protection from the boogeymen out there, but yes, but also my own lower vibrational thoughts.
Mhm.
That's what I really need the most. And so, I do those and they're connected to like elements, but I'm really excited like to be like, well, who else is out there? So I'm excited and grateful for this container.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, Allison. I hope when I'm gonna post a day 3 share in the Sacred Facebook group, and I hope that you will tell us more about Bina because I haven't heard that. And that's so fascinating. I would just be
I
love
will. I
to.
don't know of this Facebook group. So if you post a link,
Yeah, Lauren, do
yeah,
you still have the links from yesterday on what the group is? She can post it in the Zoom. For those of you watching the replay, and we're going to be posting the link to the Sacred Union, Mary Magdalene and the Archangels special Facebook group where people can go and share because of and I really am grateful for a lot of people that shared yesterday. Lauren, Deb, Nancy, a lot of people shared yesterday in that Facebook group. And so I really appreciate it. Some really good sharing happened. And when we share, not it crystallizes, some of the stuff crystallizes for us, but it also helps the other people that are reading the messages and being like, oh my gosh, so things are happening for people. They like go there and see what excitement is being generated. Some of the excitement that Allison just shared is also on display in that Facebook group in that sharing. So thank you so much, Allison, for sharing what's going on with you, and and then thinking about the question, how do I be a clear channel? It all comes down to baby steps, which is what we do after the connection with the meditation. And then you have that connection. And then, okay, so what am I going to do as a baby step to trust this connection that I have? So it's trust that I can be a clear channel, trust that I'm going to do this and this and this in the morning so that I can be a clear channel before I get on before I talk to anybody. So thank you, Allison. Is there someone else that wants to share either what they had? Rita, you're unmuted, and then, or did you want to share? Yeah, and then Carrie's going to share after that.
Um, to me, I loved your approach, Allison, and um, the who, the for me, it's rarely about putting something in a container. It's more about what opens up a question for me. And so when I'm tuning in now, it's like, okay, if I feel playful, if I feel like I'm saying several things at once with a single word, kind of in a joking, synchronicity, multifaceted poetry kind of way, then I think I got it. That's that's what and if I was to, I'm like, okay, well, if I was going to do a what, words would it be? And I'm like Sophia, but the wisdom itself, the divine feminine wisdom,
Mhm.
a deep understanding of how we're all connected, and then playfully choosing words, knowing that no word can ever,
Yeah.
and then I have to stop because it can't.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love your playful spirit, Rita, because you're so in the moment and so like, okay, this is what it is now, and this is that there's a lot of fear that you don't have that a lot of us have because you're just willing to be with whatever it is right now. And if that's playfulness, then that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And
We'll amend it. There is so much fear that when it's gone, it feels playful. It feels like, okay, oh, here it is without the fear. And if I'm, safe and loved and surrounded, and then I get to play. So it's almost
Beautiful.
a touch point, a home base, a
Mhm.
guide for, okay, am I in fear or am I in confidence? And that means together have faith. Like I have faith that the higher power has faith in me, that I have faith in, and so forth.
Beautiful. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. And part of creating a safe container for people is, I know if people are able to share and people are able to be playful, then that's good. Something's going good. So think about that as everybody, because I know everybody here creates their own teachings and their own, because you guys are all wise women and you're all on the spiritual path. So think about how you do that, how you create safe space for other people. And so Carrie is sharing next. Thank you, Rita.
Yes, in the past, my experience with Archangel, with Mary Magdalene, is that they were two-dimensional characters. I knew about them intellectually, I could learn information about them, but I didn't feel a personal connection with any of them. They were just, especially the women in the Bible, Mary Magdalene, were just really two-dimensional characters. They weren't really developed, and most of my life revolved in masculine energies, and it was really difficult to connect to that feminine energy. Through Renee's classes, I was able to get the tools, I was able to make the connections, and probably most importantly was develop a personal relationship with Mary Magdalene and the archangels. And one of my favorite tools of hers was to do a meditation, and then what or which archangel actually appealed to you in that moment, which one was highlighted, and that's where you're going to work from today. You're going to work from that energy. You're going to call in that energy. It made it more personal, it made it more real, it made it more three-dimensional, which is my personal growth, because I was pretty much two-dimensional myself, and I needed to be able to expand my heart, expand myself, accept all of me. And through Renee's classes with angels or Mary Magdalene, the various classes that she offered, I was able to find that whole self, and through those tools develop more clarity around who I am and who I'm working with. So I am grateful for the classes that I took with Renee, and I'm looking forward to her next set of classes where she's working with both. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, I love having Carrie in class because we do a meditation and then I'm like, okay, did anybody get anything out of that? Did anybody understand anything? And then Carrie will get up and say, okay, now I understand what you were saying. And, and then she'll say something completely and utterly brilliant that I didn't know before that makes total sense about the entire topic we were studying that day. So it's just like, I'm so happy to have Carrie here with me in these classes, because I think we've known each other for 20 years, right? Or something
At
like
least,
that.
yes,
Yeah, at
yes.
least.
That's
No,
for sure.
thank
Well,
you.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Carrie. Okay, so moving on, we'll have a chance to share again after we do the meditation, but I want to show a couple more slides first, just to give you a little bit more information. So I decided to, okay, now do you guys see this again? Okay. Yes? Okay, we're good. Here, I decided to pull a card from the 22 Archangel card deck. And I was like, oh, okay. So this is an archangel that I haven't really taught before. And her name is Seraphil, and she's a seraphim, which is different than an archangel, but very, very close to source. So very, very close to this, to the center, very, very close to source. And the other thing that it says on this card is heart of devotion. And I said, oh, okay, this card is telling me, giving me a focus for this class today, because I was wondering, okay, which one of you archangels is going to pop in? And seraphims aren't really archangels, but they are, because they're right close to source. But mostly there is a sense of the heart of devotion. So a sense of, okay, what am I devoted to? Which is unique to each one of us, what each one of us is devoted to. So if that's another question, when you're finding your purpose or finding your mission, all of those things seem like external journeys, and none of them are external. They're all internal journeys. And so a better question could be, what do I feel in my heart that I am devoted to? Like I was explaining before, that I was devoted to being a clear channel for the archangels to come through. So what are you devoted to? And then I loved this next part that said, let the cup of your heart be filled through commitment and dedication. So commitment, I'm still teaching classes, no matter what's going on, whether I'm making a lot of money or a lot of people are signing up, or whether I've got 4 people or whether I've got 15 people, I'm still devoted and committed to bringing through the archangels for however many people are there. And so and then the fact that seeing the heart as a cup that can be overflowing, a cup within us. And for me, when I see the word cup, I think of the word chalice, because there's just this sacred container within our hearts that is just overflowing with this sense of love. So this unconditional love and this sense of devotion. So in reading this little booklet that Kyle Gray put together, this is my resource right here, the 22 Archangel Oracle by Kyle Gray, if this appeals to you. But one of the thing in the booklet that I thought was important for this class right now, in this group of spiritual leaders that I'm talking to, is at this time, you are being encouraged to devote yourself wholly and fully to the service-based mission you are feeling called to fulfill, that will draw angels to you. So yes, service-based. It's not like, oh, I'm just doing this so I can make a living. Service-based. It's not just service to myself so I can be all spiritually smug. Service-based. How can I be of service on this planet at this time? What are the archangels wanting to reveal to us at this time? Is an interesting question, which is a service-based question. So all of that is happening. And then I keep posting this every day because it's so true. It is through our humanness that we're able to step into sacred union within our own hearts. So just talking through and feeling this humanness coming up, and this insecurity or whatever it is, or this little itty bitty fear, this little napsha isn't quite on board. And I can go and say to the archangels, that I can say to this Seraphel, please help me understand more clearly what message you want to be giving to people at this time on this earth. And when I say it that way, I recognize, little Napsha recognizes, oh, the angels don't even live in time and space. And yet they very much want to help us, because they live in the eternal moment, in the eternal now. And so for the last 2 days, we've been calling ourselves back from all times and all places. And so just doing that, calling ourselves back before we share, is a very good thing. When we are in the middle of our humanness and we call on and ask the archangels for help, these are all doors that the archangels can help us open into more unconditionally loving of ourselves and others, especially our enemies. It's really hard to love your enemy. For me, that's the hardest one. For some people, the hardest one is self-love. But it's just that archangels can help us with both of those. Archangel Jophiel helps us a lot with self-love. Archangel Shamiel helps us a lot with loving our enemies or loving other people that are showing us ourselves by their behavior. Another door that can open is wisdom. Another one is humility. Power and healing can open. Courage can open. Our little Napsha can say, I'm scared, but I know if I step out in courage, it will be okay. And you just have enough trust, because it's been okay so many times. I've touched the dragon on the nose so many times, and it's been okay. I know that it'll be okay. If I ask the archangels to show up, they're going to show up because they want to talk. So these are all doors that the archangels can open when we recognize we're in the middle of our fear or in the middle of our humanness. The Gospel of Mary calls them the powers of the ego, or the climates of the ego, depending on the translation. So you guys know that we're coming up to an 8-week class where we're going to have an opening class about the Gospel of Mary. There's some really good stuff in there. And then there's each of the 7 powers or 7 climates that are really our humanness. So why am I offering this at this time? At first I thought, oh, well, it's all coming together, and this seems to be what the angels are wanting to have happen. But then I realized something else. As I was putting this together, at first I thought it was going to be 10 weeks, but it's going to be 8 weeks, because the second week is the power of darkness. And guess when the eclipse is? On the 17th of September. There's a partial lunar eclipse. Now, we're not going to be able to go outside and see it. But what is happening is that right now we are in the eclipse portal. This whole week, starting on Tuesday, we were in the eclipse portal. Okay, with the new moon brought in the eclipse. Okay, so September 17th, we're in a partial eclipse. So dealing with, on that day, understanding what darkness actually is and what darkness affords us is being able to step into vision. So there's this whole way of seeing. When you recognize the darkness, you see light in a whole different way, because light becomes this thing. Like, I think somebody was mentioning a pilot light that you are showing on, that you're lighting into your own heart or lighting into your own path, that kind of helps us understand what is next for us, which may or may not be what is next for everybody else. So the next new moon ceremony is going to be on October 3rd. So I invite everybody to that, whether or not you end up taking this 8-week class or not. This is free to everybody, this one. But the next new moon is an annular solar eclipse, and that is happening the day before the ceremony on October 2nd. And so there are classes that we are going to be teaching during this entire eclipse portal, which really is 2 weeks before the eclipse is the first eclipse, and then 2 weeks after the last eclipse. So a lot of times we get triggered and our humanness comes up, and we're just like, and we get angry and we get frustrated and we just feel like a failure and we just like hate ourselves and we can't do anything and we get unmotivated. And so we have all of these triggers a lot of times during these eclipses. But so this is a really good time to recognize all of the humanness that we have so that we can turn our anger up and into our liberation with the help of the archangels and with the help of Mary Magdalene and the help of the Gospel of Mary. So that's why I'm teaching it at this time. Now, we're not going to be able to go outside and see the annual solar eclipse because the only people that are going to see it are people are in Easter Island, which is in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, but belongs to Chile. And then Santa Cruz, Argentina is the biggest town that's going to get a really good view of the totality of this particular eclipse. So I'm not planning on flying there to see this, but whether I see these eclipses or not, they affect me, I know for sure. And you may wonder, and you may have a question, well, does this affect me? So you can look at 6 months ago, what was happening, what was going on. Did that eclipse period affect you? And I was teaching an Archangel class during the last eclipse portal 6 months ago, and now I'm teaching this more unified sacred union class during this eclipse portal because it's times like now. This is like divine timing from the cosmos. It's like, hello, it's time. And so things are going to be coming up for people. And if we know that things are coming up for us instead of things are happening to us, because things happen to my little Nasha who has a plan, but really my Ruha can then take whatever is bubbling up and ask for help and ask the angels to open the door of light to bring in more light so that I can see what is going on. So the archangels actually, I'm stuck over here, little Napshas over here, little Napshas over here. But when I call in the archangels, I get help. I get a chemical help. I get a sense of kenosis, so the archangels can help me merge these two opposites. And every single person on this planet who works with the merging of the opposites within them is hugely helpful to the entire population of the earth right now, whether they're but just by their example, just by breathing in and out. You don't even have to say anything. You don't even have to be teaching a class if that's not what you're called to do. But if you are called to do it, do it. So anybody have a question on why we're doing this at this time? In the meantime, I get to say hi to Janice and Blanca, and so happy you guys are here. And anybody want to say anything at this point? Okay, so Blanca, before you got here, I was telling all of these amazing women about the 12-week Archangel class I was teaching at my church, and you were one of the people that was in that class. Is there anything that you would like to tell these women about that experience that you had for 12 weeks? If you want to unmute, you can. If you don't have to, but if you want to, go ahead. Lauren, can you help her unmute? Okay, where do we got? Not everybody's on Zoom all the time. Let me see. I'm going to ask you to unmute and then you just click
Got
when
it.
it's, there you
Yes.
go.
There we go. Sorry, my finger wasn't working. Hi, thank you. Sorry, I was late. I got a little caught up. I really wanted to be here today because I
Thank
know
you.
you will be talking about the archangels. And what what I have to say is that it was a wonderful experience. It was my first series of classes that I took about angels, and I will continue, anytime I have the opportunity, because there's a lot to learn, and I don't think I got everything. So I keep all my notes and I keep reviewing, but it was definitely an awakening for me. And Renee, she's so wonderful. She's such a good teacher, and she knows so much. You are like a wealth of knowledge. I love it. So, yeah, I love it. I will take it again and again, and I recommend it. I highly recommend it. It's made a difference in my life already.
Thank you. Thank you, Blanca. But Blanca wrote me a testimonial that's on my website talking about this 8-week class that's coming up. And so you can read what else she said about how it changed your life, because what you wrote was incredible. That writing from your experience, how you really moved from being a little anxious to really being able to trust more of your intuition.
Absolutely, yes. It's made a change in my life. It's incredible, to have that trust and to know that you're always guarded, that you're not alone, and the angels are always with us, and they show it to us in so
Yeah.
many ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Blanca. Thank you for being here and thank you for sharing that.
You're
And
welcome.
and okay, good. So the link to that page is posted now, it looks like, so that's good. Carrie, you've been in like almost every single class I ever taught. It's like for the last, since 2020, I started teaching all these classes. Is there anything you would like to say, tell this group of spiritual women on the path here about your experience?
I found that Renee's classes were very unique because she had all the background information, and it could have been just an intellectual experience of learning the details and the facts about things. But it was the experience, it was the feeling. And I really value the meditations. Those end up being my most favorite part. I think because it reinforced the information that we would get, the exercises that we would do, and then we do a meditation to bring it all together. And that's where I was able to go in for myself and get answers where I couldn't in the past. I didn't have the clarity, I didn't have the tools, didn't have the awareness. And through Renee's classes, I was able to access that and to get my own messages um, to be able to connect with the archangels and really feel that that they were making a difference in my life. So I'm grateful for all the classes that I took, whether they were healing classes or archangel classes or Mary Magdalene classes. They were all very valuable. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. I really appreciate you coming and letting everybody know about your experience. Is there a couple more of you have taken classes of mine? Bonnie and Lauren, do either of one of you want to say anything? Lauren wants to say something. Go ahead, Lauren.
Yeah, my best. I mean, I've done lots with you too. I love your work, and I love how exactly so much knowledge, and it's so clear that you do channel it. I was thinking that yesterday actually, when you did the meditation, just how beautiful and flowing, and they're always slightly different. And anyway, I did a 9-month course with you that I just intuitively knew I had to do it. I didn't even know actually what I was signing up for. And I got about a month in and I'm like, what? We've got to do what? Which was go live on YouTube and share our awakening story. But it was profound, and what I got out of it, and was it changed my life actually. It really was life changing. And so I'm feeling really drawn to doing this again. Just I'm being guided that I need to be here. And I think for me, part of it is that I'm getting a lot of guidance as well to actually call on for help a lot more than I actually do. So, and I know that whenever I want to sit down and write or channel or get a message, I do get those messages. But to actually be a little bit more formal about it, I think is what's coming up for me now.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lauren. It is such a joy. Lauren has the most, I mean, and you can tell that Lauren has the most beautiful, gentle heart, and I can always trust Lauren. So I've come to you several times when I was in the middle of my own little traumas, because I know I can trust your heart. So thank you. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you. It goes both ways for sure.
Okay, is there anybody else that wanted to share about past experiences? Janice, you're raising your hand. You want to unmute?
Yeah, hi. I'm glad to be here. I feel like I've done things with you, Renee, and you're just such a kind person that's what I get more, and that's important to me to have that, a person that brings that. And I feel like I'm in limbo right now. Like, I need to do some deep work, but I'm just kind of wandering around. I'm not actually doing it. So, this might work out. I just have to I'll look at what the class entails and how much,
Okay.
but it's just, this is the way I've always, gotten through my issues, is to do work with my higher power,
Yes.
and I need to do it badly. So
We
I'm
all
glad,
do it. We all need to do it somehow
yeah,
or another.
yeah, I mean, like the first day, I wasn't here yesterday, but the first day when we did the meditation, it just was like, wow, it touched me so much. So anyways, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Janice. Yeah, and if you are thinking of jumping in, like some of the people that you just heard from, you may be watching the replay, you may be sitting quietly at this point. If you're thinking of jumping in, but you're not sure, there's also a link that Lauren can put in to my calendar and have a chat with me for 30 minutes to say, I'm not sure if this is right for me at this time, or I need a payment plan. I can't just give you $397 for 8 weeks, just like that. What can we work out? So talk to me if this is something that you want to do. If you're feeling it as your next step, talk to me. Sign up for 30 minutes. I opened my whole friggin' calendar up for the next couple of days until Tuesday when this class starts. So talk to me, set up a time, schedule a time now. Even if you're just thinking, I don't know, maybe schedule a time now. Look, Allison, what would you like to say?
Well, and this is just so like a cloud on top of all the beauty, but I'm just kind of a technical person. Your links are just saying suspicious link, and they're not suspicious. I know that. Mine did that. And if you don't know what it is, I think it's something about your DNS record, and you can shoot me an email or something like that.
Okay.
Some people, no one here, but some people may just be like, it's kind of gotten in my way before. Just want to let you know that. Otherwise, I'll definitely chat with you, and I'm going to, click the link. I trust the link.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't click
So
it if it says suspicious.
it's
Sorry.
yeah, it's a link from Calendly, which which,
Yeah, but there's a
but
DNS record
there's something.
problem, you know.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's see if we can resolve that so people don't have to be worried.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll work on that. We'll work on that for you guys so that you don't have to be worried about that. Okay, and anybody else want to share anything? Bonnie and I have a whole recording where we're talking about the 8 weeks, and so I'm gonna put that in the show notes for the replay of this, and I'm gonna put it in the Sacred Union Mary Magdalene Archangels class Facebook group, so that you guys can look at that and get more of a what am I saying about the 8 weeks to it. So I think this actually might be the time for me to stop to share my actual webpage about the class, which is here, except it's the wrong thing. Okay, so it's here, but I want to go, let me see, I want to go here. There it is. Okay, so here's the 8-week class, and you can't get all right, so Lauren, can you see the 8-week class? Okay, so let me pull this over here, and you guys don't need to look at my bookmarks. So here we go. So the archangels are helping us and open up what is available to us, and the journey within the Gospel of Mary is the journey that Mary Magdalene makes in a vision with Jesus after the resurrection. So it's pretty powerful what we're going to be looking at. And the Gospel of Mary is really pretty short, because 6 pages were torn out at the beginning and 5 pages were torn out in the middle. So it's very dense, and there's a lot of information in there, but it's not the keys to it are the 7 powers or 7 climates. So this is really about spiritual integration. Spiritual integration is another way of looking at sacred union, except sacred union takes spiritual integration and takes it into an even more sacred level. And it's talking about the feminine and the masculine working together within us. We can actually step into our spiritual destiny at this time. If I'm looking at the cosmos, Uranus is the awakener, and Uranus has awakened a whole bunch of stuff in me, and Uranus is right next to Sedna, which is the spiritual destiny dwarf planet that takes 11,400 years to go around. And they are coming into a conjunction. So we could actually, by trusting our intuition over the next year, we can be actually stepping into our spiritual destiny. So this is really prep work for that transit that's coming, not to us, but for us. It's not, if people that aren't paying attention, aren't clearing, aren't working, aren't realizing that everything is happening for us, that are people that are not opening the doors to this energy that's helping us through these huge transitions and clarities and realizations and light coming to us. We're choosing to open to the light. We are choosing to walk through that door and step into our spiritual destiny. Now, there's still a little part of me that my stomach just went, what? You're doing what? That's the little Napsha, and I have to love her, and sometimes I call her little sweetie. Little sweetie, it's going to be okay. The angels are here to help us. They're going to open the door, and they're going to make sure we're safe. And I trust that because they've been helping me for the last 4 years. So it's through experience, I know that I'm safe. If I wasn't taking baby steps every single day, I wouldn't know that. Okay, So then we can live from within our own hearts and make choices that are soul-based choices, which is what we do at every new moon. We can step into being anthropos, which is fully human, fully divine, like we talked about yesterday. Our fears and triggers that may come up with the eclipse, we can move through quickly and return to love and loving more of ourselves and being anchored and more manifested on the earth plane. We can expand. Our life can become an expansion into joy. And this got messed up. I put all these testimonials in, and then I realized I did it on the wrong thing. So I'm going to fix that and fix whatever other issues. But here's the thing. So the first day on September 10th, which is next Tuesday, which is in a few days, we're going to look at some key things in the Gospel of Mary. Then we're going to, because it's the eclipse, the 17th, we're going to look at the light and dark, which makes visions possible, which is Mary's first power. Then we're going to work on releasing clinging. So if you're clinging to things like, you have bad habits, you're clinging to, oh, I need this, or oh, I need that, or I'm clinging to this bad relationship, or I'm clinging to this overconsumption of food or drink or this or that or whatever, or smoking or whatever it is, being able to step into love with the archangels. And then the archangels showing us the way out of ignorance and into wisdom. And it's amazing. I didn't know until I knew and how ignorant I really was until I started to see it and ask the angels to help me step more and more into wisdom. And then excess, if a lot of times I get really angry at billionaires who think they need more money. And then I have to say, okay, so where am I in excess? Where am I hoarding? And so recently, looking at excess, I just gave away 3 boxes full of clothes to the wonderful woman here in Mexico who helps me clean my house. And then moving from forgetting the truth into remembrance of who we are is really powerful. I talked a little bit about that this has been coming up a lot. So that's going to be powerful. I realize how the forgetting process and the remembrance process works, which I didn't really realize in the other times I taught this class. So that'll be powerful. And then honoring the body. I know a lot of you work with energy healing. So you know that when you clear your body, when you do your energy work, you are becoming a clear channel. And if we have little pain, that little pain within us is our little humanness crying out. And when we have a conversation with that humanness and we ask the angels for help, we can open into our divinity. And then moving from anger into transformation, there are some powerful archangels that work with transformation. So we have some powerful angels of love, some angels of wisdom, angels of justice, angels of remembrance, angels of transformation. And then there's this wonderful book called The Gospel of the Beloved Companion that takes us through this whole tree that I was talking about before. And so what do you get? You get 2-hour classes with replays on Zoom Live. Okay, so this is pretty cheap for a live, pretty affordable for a live class. I'm actually creating an ebook during this class, and so you guys get it chapter by chapter of the 8 weeks. You're going to get replays of all these promotional classes. You're going to get homework prompts and grace exercises, and you're going to get audio versions of the meditations of the eye of the heart, Mary Magdalene and the Archangels to be able to do at home anytime you want. So here's the link. Here's and then of course we talked about this yesterday. So anybody have any questions about any of this? You can also, if you choose to share and comment in the Facebook group, the Sacred Union Facebook group. If you are able to do that, you could win prizes, and you could win discounts on those courses if you're interested in them, or you could win readings with me on. There's two readings. One is seeing the archangel stars in your chart, and the other reading is a full 90-minute astrology reading. So we lost a bunch of people on that, but is anybody want to say anything before we sing out, sing away, sing ourselves to a close?
I put up my hand, Renee, only because when you said about the when you said you're the little part of yourself that does the little flip, it's like you're doing spiritual, I can't remember the name of how you worded it, but it's like massive work. So of course, if it doesn't actually make us go, oh, then it's not big enough, it's not meant to be. So I just think that that's perfect that you have that little bit of like, oh my God, I think that's what we should all be stepping into, or we are, and I think that's just beautiful.
Thank you, Lauren. If you're not a little bit scared to do this class, then there is such an opportunity to step into your courage. So if this made you feel a little bit scared, this is an opportunity for you to step into your bigger self. Yeah. So beautiful. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, so we're gonna close. We're gonna sing. Most of you know the song, the closing song. A couple of you, Nancy's still hanging in there with us, so I'm gonna go ahead and put up the song. And these are the lyrics to the song I always close with. Where is it? This is what the day 3 question is, and you can look into that. These are the prizes. You can look at those. They're in that Facebook group too. But right now we're gonna sing. So here we are. And so now I'm holding space for all the people that had to leave. And oh my gosh, Debbie came back. So I'm holding space for all of the people watching the replay, all of the people that were here and are coming back or left or whatever. And now we're all here together, and we're going to sing ourselves out, holding love for all the people that were here yesterday and the day before, all the people that are trying to figure out, is this the journey I want to be on for the next 8 weeks? So here we go. In this circle of love, in this circle of peace, in this circle of love, in this circle of peace, I feel our unity, love, sweet security. I feel our unity, love, sweet security, in this circle of love, in this circle of peace. So thank you, everybody, for coming. Look for links down below this if you're watching the replay. And I hope to talk to some of you if you're interested in this journey. And it's okay to be a little scared. Love and blessings, everyone.